Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Saturday Boys, where every day is a Saturday. Come out and hang out with us as we talk about games, movies, and music. Brain fart. It's all right to have a mess up every once in a while. This intro's our work in progress, even though we're 30 plus episodes deep in this. I mean, yeah, we talk about music, movies, games, all over. Normally beers, but we've been doing more mixed drinks lately. And we got that going again today. But yeah, my name is Nick, and I'm joined by Anthony.
Hi.
And Brandon.
Hello.
So why are we drinking mimosas today, guys?
Because it's not the evening.
Yeah, where it's early. It's like we were sitting here thinking, all right, do we want a beer this early in the day? We're like, man, I don't know. Today we're doing Fight Club, and Fight Club, a lot of the themes in it are anti-consumerism. So I thought let's do some irony and just get the most white consumerist thing that we can think of, which are mimosas.
Yeah,
and they're great in the morning. Holy crap, it is.
They are. They're very good. I'm a big mimosa guy.
Right? I honestly never really drank mimosas very much. I never went out to brunch places without. I mostly go with family, and I don't want to drink mimosas with my family. So, at least the family I go with. But yeah, so I never had one until recently.
I can deal with them.
Hey, I know, right? Hey, I did go out with you recently and have mimosas. It was nice. I enjoyed it. But yeah. Delicious champagne. I just got whatever fries I had. It was great. It was just yes.
Yoink.
Speaking of which, I wanted to get us separate orange juices, grocery stores that have terrible selection. But you said yours is great. I went and the fries I went to only had regular orange juice. They didn't have any of the pineapple orange juice or crazy ones. So I just got us regular.
Right, no mango.
But you said yours has a bunch better stuff.
Yeah. They have the mango orange juice. They have I think they have a pineapple one.
Dude, simply orange pineapple. Dude, I used to do
very good.
What are those tropical sunrises, whatever the hell?
Yeah.
Using with that instead of regular orange juice. That was good. A lot of sugar though.
Sunrise.
Yeah,
those are good. I just like champagne though.
You see, I've never really drinking champagne that much. Is Moscato champagne?
No, that's a wine.
It's a wine?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a champagne and a wine? They were in the same aisle.
So the champagne's going to be a bubbly beverage.
Moscato is bubbly. What? It's bubbly wine, yeah. Is champagne
a little bubbly, but
I'm going to do the most thing. Is champagne wine? Oh, well, that's the first thing. Damn it. All right.
Well, I guess there's sparkling wine.
Oh.
Champagne is sparkling wine, so that is
it's just okay. So it's like Scotch. Scotch is just whiskey that's made in Scotland, while champagne is just a wine region of France, basically.
This says champagne is the Kleenex of sparkling wine,
or the Band-Aid. It makes sense.
Yeah,
it's the big name brand. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just
so Moscato, I guess, would be a bubbly wine. You could do
bubbly wine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because that was the bubbly wine I used to drink a lot.
It's I like it straight up. I like it mixed into things. I just think it's a fun little beverage. I like the drunk I get from it. It's very fun and
well, it is the whole bubbly thing. I haven't ever really gone out to clubs or bars where they do bottles or anything like that, but I know champagne is the go-to for things like that type of party. Even in Hollywood, they have pop in the champagne. When I went to pop this today, I was like, oh God, I don't know if I knew how to do this right. All I know is can't point it at my face. I may have jumped once I got it open, but at least it wasn't pointed towards me, and I didn't make a mess. That's the other thing is I see everywhere, it just always foams everywhere. I'm like, I don't want it to do that. This is not expensive, but I just don't want to waste it.
It was a successful little bottle pop, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's good. All right, I think it's time to move on to the not so important news next. Brandon, you said you had an article ready to go up here?
I do.
What you got?
Oversized goldfish taking over one Minnesota lake causes issues for local fish.
So I saw the photo of that goldfish. I didn't actually read the article.
Monster. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so people were
Chonky
flushing
boy.
Fishes and they were going into lakes and shit. And yeah, they were just growing so big.
Yeah, because a goldfish it basically takes the size of whatever container you put it into, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's in the wild, it'll just grow until it can't.
There was groups of them in it was Keller Lake.
You said Wisconsin? Or-
Minnesota.
Minnesota. I was close.
Yeah, I guess this isn't the first time Minnesota lakes have been overcome with oversized goldfish.
Maybe they just don't have any natural predators.
Wow, there
out
was
there.
like it says there was
Wait.
thousands swimming in a suburb of Minneapolis, and they had to have a team remove a truckload of 500,000. Wait, a team had to remove a truckload of 500,000 of the goldfish.
God,
Damn.
That's a lot, man.
so many.
That's like
500,000. Even and these are also not
Invasion.
small goldfish. They're larger
Chunky
goldfish.
Yeah, they're like. I mean, that was
Did
definitely.
they
at least the
have a
size of,
weight
like,
in the
trout.
article about like how much those guys weigh?
I don't see a weight, but it's
Damn.
definitely like the size of a trout, at least.
Yeah.
Well, that one looked like it was like bigger than
It's-
your hand. So
yeah,
it was like,
2-3 hands worth.
yeah.
No. That's insane. That's a lot of goldfish. Is goldfish edible? It's gonna sound weird, but they fish out that much stuff. Is because
I
it's kind
feel
of a
like
bottom
it-
feeder, right? But
feel like
so
it-
is tilapia.
Right. I guess too, like with that being that size, I would
Maybe
think.
it's kind of like how rabbits and stuff are edible. They're just gamey.
Goldfish
You know?
are as edible as any other freshwater fish.
Oh,
I guess it's still limited. Like usually with the normal size, there's no point because you get so little
so little
from
meat
it.
from all the
Yeah,
bone
you'd have to
and
have
all
so
that.
many
junk.
of
Oh,
them.
gross! It says
Oh,
that gross stuff, that pellet stuff that you feed your fish. It says pop a pellet or two. That's what your fish is going to taste like.
Ew.
Ew.
like the little flakes and stuff.
Yeah, like your fish food. Like
Ugh.
it's basically saying your
It'll-
fish is going to taste like it's fish food.
Okay, that makes
You are what
sense.
you eat.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
We are a bunch of mimosas. If somebody eats us, we are going to get them drunk.
Eh,
It's not a bad thing.
I know, right? It's like, well, shit. You're just opening up the table here. No, but all right, I'll do my article next. Gosh, mine's not a very long one, but it fights for a cause that I've always fought for.
Mine was from NPR, by the way.
NPR.
just
Mine comes from CNET, and it is Heinz starts a petition to make hot dogs and buns come in equal packages.
Yes. Absolutely.
I saw that and I was like, oh yes, I always end up having leftover like hot dog buns or a hot dog on a plate because I don't have any. I'm not going to put it. I'd rather cut up and eat a hot dog just like
You're getting,
normal
like-
than put it on a piece of toast because a hot dog on toast is just sad.
It is sad. And you're getting like 8 hot dogs and like 6 buns.
So-
and it's just not right.
You have to get so many just to make it equal out.
It's not right.
God, so food. Apparently, this is this is a more recent article. It's from just last week, and it says the American consumers waste 40% of all the food they buy, according to the Natural Resource Defense Council.
Wow.
So Heinz, this Canada says in a new video, hot dogs, Heinz ketchup can. Oh, so it's actually the Canada branch of them. Say that in their video they posted. While hot dogs come in pack at 10s, buns are usually 8. So you're gonna have 2 extra hot dogs and all this stuff. And apparently, I haven't seen Father of the Bride too much. I know it's one of my mom's favorite movies, but like I don't remember it too much. Apparently, there's a famous scene in that movie of a guy making this exact same rant. They just clipped it. And I'm like, okay, that's something I'll have to check out. But yeah, they posted an online petition urging Big Bun and Big Wiener to get together and put 10 hot dogs in package and 10 buns in a package. Just have it 10. And
They did not call it Big Wiener.
They didn't.
so those are in quotes, and then after wiener, there's a exclamation mark in parentheses, which is I'm assuming from CNET. It's like big wiener because it's like big business. Yeah, big wiener. But yeah,
That's gonna
apparently
kill
it by Wednesday morning, and this was last week, so last Wednesday. It had gotten over 5,700 votes, and there's no
I mean-
link to it. I don't think.
I would vote for it too, but I don't agree with calling the
You're right.
Big wiener.
Big Wiener. We're going to take down Big Wiener.
All right, Heinz.
Just call, why can't they call it like Big Franks or Big Frank?
Yeah.
Like, that's like
Oh,
it's
God.
We're gonna take down Big Frank.
right. Like
I like that so
that's-
much better.
So there's more articles to this too. I just quickly searched Heinz petition for
You
hot
didn't
dog
click
buns.
Big Wiener, did you?
No, I did.
Don't Google that at home.
No, I just did the Heinz petition, and other companies are now weighing in there. Stuff like Oscar Mayer and the Heinz hot dog pact by the Pittsburgh Post. So apparently, it's a big publicity thing, and I'm just feeding into it. But if we get even hot dog buns and everything, I will be happy.
That would be nice. I also have another food related one real quick
And
here.
sorry, quickly.
Yeah.
Also has to apply to burgers. Can't not just for hot dogs.
Yeah, yeah.
This is true.
No
See, burgers are a
discrimination.
little thing. Wait, no. Maybe make the burger packets 10. So you're getting 10 burgers.
Yeah.
Because you can buy meat and make your own
Just-
burgers and all that stuff.
Just make it all 10.
Yeah, 10 just across the board.
Yeah, 10 on everything. It makes sense. Or a dozen. I mean, either way.
A dozen
I feel
works
like,
too.
yeah.
See, the thing with a dozen, this is where why you end up with different types. Is
Yeah.
people start, well, a dozen people might not be going through a dozen by the
We
time. Well,
just
then
need a
how about we do
standard.
6? Yeah, it's standard 10. Boom.
Yeah.
Right. Like with the
That's
hamburgers, I feel like it's harder just because of the shape. How
Well,
many-
and I started to say it, and I realized that hamburgers really usually don't come in packs, and I highly doubt there's a standardization for like the deli
Standardize 8.
packs.
8 would be easy.
8, yeah,
8 would be an easy standard. You could boom, 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 boom.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one knows what I'm doing.
I-
This is
I
a
know.
podcast,
Boom,
but
boom, boom, boom.
perfect for our
All right. to describe what Brandon just did to our audio listeners, he went boom, 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 boom. On each boom, he put out his hand down in a specific spot to mimic a square, each boom representing 1/4 of that square. The second set of booms were above that first set to equal a cube of hot dog buns.
Correct.
Or hamburger buns. I was close on that explanation.
And
Thank
then
you.
for
well
hot dogs, you would go boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
boom,
God.
boom.
I'm not going to. See, you can.
And then you would just stack 4 and then 4 on top.
Yeah, audio listeners, you got it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing another
Yeah,
one.
they get what the boom booms mean now. Every time you
Boom,
hear
boom,
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 it means a hand thing. Means hand stuff. We're doing hand stuff, big wiener.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, this is terrible.
We're off to a great start about a very serious episode.
Well,
What's
this
your-
whole
what's your
movie's
other
about
article?
cutting off your dick and balls. Oh well. Yeah, the article real quick before
Oh,
we go into
God,
Fight
yeah,
Club.
you're-
This isn't
you're
a very
food-related.
This is definitely not important. But mac and cheese is the ice cream you never thought you'd need, and now it's hard to get.
Oh,
so that really is our last article.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow! You guys had the same article.
We did.
Okay. But so, what company made mac and cheese ice cream?
It's this Van Leeuwen.
Okay, I've heard of them. I think.
Yeah.
If I can I
It's
see
like
the picture?
LEEU.
Yeah.
WE.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said that it's not as bad as you would think it is.
Yeah, I guess it would be like a cheesecake ice cream.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah,
It's
that's
maybe
kinda
like a
what I
cheddar
imagine.
cheesecake ice cream.
Yeah.
Right.
Still, that's not what I'm looking for.
Apparently, it's sold out in
Right.
a lot of places, but then they said it's not sold out.
So who's telling the truth?
So I fuck if I know. It's all a lie.
It's
Right.
all a lie.
This doesn't even exist. That's why everybody thinks it's sold out.
It's just all for the show.
No, it does exist. I mean,
That could,
It could be
very
orange
well
ice cream.
or be orange like sorbet type stuff.
yeah.
That's what that looks like. God, I haven't had that in a while. I was just at Fry's.
Would you try it?
If I had it offered to me, I'd try it. I wouldn't.
I would try a scoop.
I would try a scoop. I wouldn't buy a whole pint because I don't want to throw away. I don't want to waste food. 40% of Americans waste
Right.
food, and I do not want to. So I'll buy a scoop.
Tiny little scoop.
I'll eat it. Like if I can put it in a cone or something. It'll be Baskin 32. Even though I'm pretty sure they have rotating flavors.
I tried oysters the other day.
Oh yes,
God, that was not my jam. Have you guys?
I was there. I
Well,
tried an
you-
oyster.
well,
but
yeah, I guess
Anthony,
that was
Anthony-
more at
I have.
Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony,
Yeah.
have you tried raw oysters? Right, not cooked oyster.
Yeah, raw.
Where you kind of got to
of the
either
shell.
scoop it or
I
use a
don't.
fork.
I don't think I've ever had raw. No.
Oh yeah, it's something different, dude.
God.
So- I
just figured I wouldn't
fried or
like it.
something?
I honestly, I think it was.
I've had.
It was like maybe I haven't had oysters. 'Cause I think I've had like stuffed clams. Maybe I haven't had oysters.
Bro, it's like someone
sure.
hocked a loogie in your mouth.
I was surprised I was able to actually chew and swallow it.
Gross.
Yeah.
How'd you chew it? I didn't.
I tried like 3 or 4 and then just went because that's kind of how you have to do. There's no, take it out of context.
Well,
what you
yeah,
want.
I scooped it into my mouth, and it felt like I coughed a piece of phlegm up into my out of my lungs.
It's like
and I
you have to
mentally
swallow that down.
I couldn't get it past the mental. I was like, no, this is a loogie in my mouth. I can't do it.
Yeah,
You
you were
spit this
the
out.
only one to not fully do it. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm
So,
usually pretty adventurous with food, and that was not.
that was no.
Not the one.
That was
We
not
had
it.
to though. We were at a oyster place, and none of us were going to order oysters, and there weren't enough of us going to try it. So,
Yeah,
Hmm.
made
We
me
weren't
think of that.
sure.
Try one scoop. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll try one oyster.
yep, we're done. So, at least it would have only been 1 scoop worth of food waste.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'd imagine at least mac and cheese ice cream you'd be able to stomach through.
I think it'd just
Probably
be
more
kind of
than
like,
an
this is
oyster.
weird, but not just like,
You know, it'd be weird to put chocolate drizzle on mac and cheese ice
Fuck
cream.
that.
That's where it gets weird. You start doing other ice cream things. When I said put it in a cone, I went, the cone's gonna be sweet. So then my thought was like, ooh, would that be
The
good?
only thing I could think is crumple some like
Breadcrumbs?
bacon.
See, it really depends on how salty the ice cream is. If the mac and cheese ice cream isn't salty enough, the bacon might be too much.
Or how sweet the bacon is.
Oh, like candied bacon?
Candied bacon.
Maple
on top of it.
bacon.
Candied maple.
Oh.
okay, so now I'm definitely, now I think I'm just
All
going
right,
to get a whole
so
scoop.
you know, I might have to stop at the grocery store on the way home and see if they got anything.
Apparently, it's not sold out. So.
Yeah, apparently. So, was it just a regional thing? I mean, I never heard of it before this. I don't know if they said. Because usually there's stuff like that. It's like, oh, in this area we have it. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but. Sorry, this beginning of this podcast, I was expecting to start talking about Fight Club, and this has been an interesting X amount of minutes that it has been so far.
Oh, somebody said it didn't go well trying it. Oh, this face just says it all for
Oh,
me.
no.
Man, that is just a look of disgust and horror.
Oh, Today's Show?
Yeah.
Well.
Oh my crap. Oh my God. The cut. This is what greets you at the gates of hell. And it's this ice cream.
Well, even like the beginning of the article, it's like comedian Josh Prey said on YouTube, is this a terrible idea? Absolutely. Should this have been made? Gosh, no. This came from the mind of a first grader.
Yeah.
So it's not getting very good reviews.
Maybe I'll skip it then. I mean, as I said, if somebody were to give me a scoop.
Yeah,
rather
I definitely
than
would have to try it just to say I tried it. That's great. That's another.
Everyone's face is just
Yeah,
like,
I've seen that. Yeah. Everybody's face is just no. Please no.
That's kind of
It
funny.
needs like a Jeff Goldblum thing like attached to it. Like we didn't stop. Like if we asked the wrong questions, not that if we could do it, if we should do it.
Then okay, so they post this article that says this is what greets you at the gates of hell, and then he posts an update at the end. He's like, it's actually not that bad.
Oh.
Yeah, he goes, I've managed to finally try the Kraft macaroni and cheese before it sold out. And
Wait, he wrote the article before.
Yeah, and then he goes, it's kind of good. There's definitely a funky cheese adjacent aftertaste, but the ice cream itself is perfectly edible and tastes like oddly like caramel to me. So I feel like our bacon theory
would probably go
fit.
pretty good with it.
Yeah.
It would probably be enough of a palate cleanser to stomach through the rest of it.
We found out how to eat that ice cream.
Right, and we didn't have it in front of us. Boom, we win.
You heard it here first. And with that being said,
Fight Club.
I am Jack's inflamed liver.
I didn't come up with one. I didn't
didn't
Jack's shock and awe.
Oh, it's so good. Fuck. Oh, no, I got nothing. So continue.
You can be Jack's raging boner.
Especially
I thought that's what you were gonna say when you first said that. I was like, don't start the Fight Club segment with "I am Jack's raging boner."
I didn't start it with it, but hey,
Now it's
kind
been
of
said
It
twice.
brought it around.
big wiener.
Oh, God. So I
I am Jack's baby.
exclamation mark in parentheses.
I am Jack's
Well,
big
we watched
Sayed.
Fight Club.
we watched and are talking about Fight Club, and I'm going to put this out here before just because this is super going to be spoiler heavy. Obviously, there's no way to talk about any of this movie without any spoilers.
It's over
I know
20 years
it's
old.
over 20 years old, but I just want to say I really like this movie so much that
Watch it first. And
watch
come
it
back.
first.
Yeah, watch it first.
If you happen to be watching this without watching Fight Club, thank you. But seriously, go and watch it. Find a way. It's
We'll
on
be here.
Amazon
We'll be back.
Video, so
Yeah.
it's good.
It's worth the watch. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's up there
Yeah.
for sure.
It's dense. Normally my page is like 1 or 2. I've got like 4 sides I got to read from here, so it's gonna be fun today. But yeah, it was a 1999 film. Did not do well in the box office. It was basically this movie is all over the place. Tone, marketing, everything. It's very hard to figure. It's a very dense book. I think Fight Club was just released a couple years earlier, like in '96. And yeah, they had no idea how to market this film, and it really only started to pick up steam on its DVD sales because it is an amazing film. It's just it's a lot to stomach. It's hard.
Yeah.
And it's one, but it rewards repeat watches and different gaps of perspective and all this stuff. So it's a very interesting film. love it though. I don't even like remember first watching it. Just like I always knew the film existed. Like I don't even remember the first time I ever heard of the film. You guys?
I don't
It's
either.
been like a part of my
I
psyche.
think for me, it was part of the when Christian was having us watch a bunch of movies. I think it was part of that group.
I think
I can see that.
Yeah, maybe it was around that time for me. Like maybe grade school, high school. I watched.
I probably
it.
watched this movie before I should have, knowing my watching history.
yeah.
I was.
I definitely did before I should have.
Yeah, because it came out when I was 8. So yeah, so 8, 7, and then
Yeah.
you were
Because I
4.
Well, I didn't watch it. I watched it definitely.
Yeah.
Probably my brother showed it to me because it was
Yeah.
definitely up his alley. David Fincher and all that stuff. It's a movie buff movie.
Yeah.
But not so much that the casual. Well, this also. It probably also didn't have good word of mouth because the average moviegoer, I hate to say that, but like the plebeian on this, it's a very abrasive movie. It's not, it doesn't hold your hand. I mean, on the cover, it says you are not special, which is one of the themes that it talks about. And it's just like, it's a very interesting film.
Mm-hmm.
But what's weird is, at least in the internet age of like memes and everything, this film has become more known for specific scenes and lines than the actual film itself.
Right.
Like it's very interesting that this is one of the most quoted and out of context film with just like memes from it and like all the scenes that like we were watching it and I was just like, wow, we haven't had this scene yet, and that we're like an hour into it, and that scene in my mind is so integral because of how like much weight the internet had put on it and all that stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, Brad Pitt doesn't show up for like a good chunk of the film, like 30 minutes or so.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
he's not
long.
in
It
for
does
a while.
seem longer than it really is.
It's like 20, 30 minutes where he even shows up. So, yeah. All right. So I'm going to start off with my notes. And what I found out is I never looked this up, but what the hell's up with the opening credits? Do you guys just watch that? It was like the Spider-Man-esque opening
dude.
credits. Dude.
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
I'm going to look up Fight
that was
Club
not
opening
okay.
credits.
That was the only thing in this movie that, like, if they were to do like another re-release, just change those fucking opening credits, man. Those look like some shit.
So I'm wondering
Spider-Man
too
shit.
if because the idea that the director wanted to do like subliminal stuff within that, and then it just didn't happen. So like I wonder if it hadn't. It was supposed to. It was this part of this bigger idea, and then part of it was cut, and they couldn't change it completely.
I feel like
No, that is the original. I guess I didn't like it so much. My brain deleted that. Like, so what we're talking about is the opening credits have like a bunch of CGI veins and all that stuff that like blue electric, with
it
like
looks just like-
hardcore like music that does not fit the tone of the film.
literally watch Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. It's the same exact like intro style, or X-Men, the original 2000s.
But this is a little bit before that. I guess it just must have been a late 90s, early 2000s thing. Was just like
Finally
the
got that
CG
CG.
fonts. We
Yeah.
can do some crazy shit with this, bro.
Well, because the whole thing is that it's like it goes,
It's zooming out.
it zooms out of him holding the gun in the mouth, and it's supposed to be like his sweat, and then it goes out or something. Part
Yeah.
of the gun. I don't fucking know. Some part of him or the sweat or the gun, or the big wiener.
Damn.
As much as
yeah.
I can tie it back.
Hey, this is a film, as we said, about castration. Basically, one of the main
Castration
themes.
by consumerism.
Ah, God, this. See, we haven't even talked about the opening scene really, and we're already talking about the heavy themes. That's just what this film is.
You almost
and
have to
book.
talk about the heavy themes to talk about the film,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
because how else are we supposed to say why half this shit goes on, or why half of it's actually intriguing that they put like certain things in there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because otherwise it just comes across as nonsense.
Yeah, like this is one of those ones where I was like, I'm not going to do this as scene by scene walk through and
You
everything
can't.
like
No.
that. I was trying to even find like a nice summary, and it was like it was 3 paragraphs long. I'm like, God, okay. TLDR, Tyler Durden is both Edward Norton and Brad Pitt.
Yeah. It's a man that has insomnia that creates a
Yeah.
figment of his imagination that he believes is real. And that technically kind of is real,
It is-
because if
it's
something
bipolarism.
embodies you, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Kind of?
well, it's split personality disorder.
Okay.
Or, I mean, he's entering psychosis just through insomnia. He's creating things in his mind. It's like what's that fucking movie with Christian Bale, Machinist.
Oh.
It's like
Okay.
it's like kind of like Machinist in a way where he starts kind of hallucinating because he hasn't slept in so long.
Right.
But this just takes it to a whole nother level of where he actually splits his personality and is doing things while he's like blacked out.
Right. So then he personifies it as someone else doing it instead for him.
Yeah.
It's just insane. And that's just that whole like 3-minute explanation is just like a single plot scene at the end of the film, basically. It sets up the whole like premise, but it's just how dense this movie is. So yeah. I'm just gonna go over all my notes and we'll talk about
We'll
stuff
just
as
pick
we hit
apart
them.
the
It'll be
notes
pretty
and-
funny.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to do throughout writing this is catch up like on the super quotable scenes and any like hints that I picked up that Tyler and
Narrator.
Edward Norton
Yeah.
and
Jack.
Jack as because I'm Jack's
Has
blank.
no
I'm
name.
Jack.
Yeah.
Because in the book he doesn't have a name. He's just the main
he's
character.
narrator.
Narrator. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I tried to write down all of the hints that I caught. And right in the intro explanation, he's talking about like, how do I know this? I know because Tyler knows.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like the third line of the film. And it's just like, okay. You just kind of drop in hints like that this early, but then you don't see Tyler for another 25 minutes. Brad Pitt doesn't even have a line in that. Oh, he does have a line because he's talking about the buildings crashing and the opening sequence.
Yeah, but at the same time, the way I like interpreted that the first time I watched it was like, oh, he knows because he like tells him everything.
Yeah.
I
Like,
know.
he's
That's
his right hand man.
that's what
or
I
something,
mean.
you know,
It's a cool drop that has double meaning.
Yeah, a little double
the first
entendre.
time you hear it, you think it's like, oh, it's just they're so connected, or there's good friend. You did something like this. Then the second watch, you're like, oh, okay, that's why. It unlocks the hidden meaning to it once you know the twist.
I know because you know that I know that I know.
Dude, I know.
What?
God, yeah. But yeah, so it opens with that, and then I just thought that was. How do you guys feel that movies when they open on the climax scene like that? Like Fight Club is a weird one because I feel it fits the narration style that Fight Club does, but not many movies. I feel like it breaks the fourth wall too much most times.
Very Shakespearean to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, which is a play, break the fourth wall, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it just every time that somebody does that trope, all I can think about is fucking Romeo
and Juliet and all
Yeah.
that. Well, I'm not a literary person, but when I think of like climax stuff, I think the final scene of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
I was just me talking out my ass now, but
It creates a different way of watching the film, in my opinion. Like you go into it with a different you go into it thinking, oh well, this little thing happened. Like, how did he get there? Like it makes you wonder what led to that point. So it makes you think differently when you're watching the film, which is what this film wants you to do.
Well,
so in this case, I think it's.
I was going to say
good.
this time it works, but
Yeah.
just even watching it on like a repeat watch, you kind of become numb to a little bit of the initial stuff because the movie is so dense that I forget this happens every time I watch the movie. I forget that it opens with it because this is a movie that's packed so tight with dialogue and scenes and shooting. Like the filming on this was so many locations and cast and crews. Not a cheap film to make at all.
The budget was like 60 something million.
Yeah. And like, yeah, it's just, it's weird to have like a movie this dense start with them. They immediately brought me to like family movies that do that. Like, oh, I wonder how you got myself in this situation on like a repeat watch. There's it's a note I took on that. But yeah, and then I love this line, and we have a deep history with this line. So I need someone to say it.
If you can read his chicken
Bob.
scratch.
Wait. Bob has bitch tits.
I can't do it. Hold on. Brandon, be my drummer.
Well, I don't want to give the people too much sub.
I know.
We had a song.
We had a song. All right,
Yeah.
this joke went. I was like, come on, you got a drum. We had a song way back when we were super young that we wrote that started off with Bob had bitch tits that Anthony said. And then it went to this like drum beat, and then it was every time I hear that, I think of that old song we wrote. It's
I can't quite remember how it went.
I know.
And
So long
it's,
ago.
it's nowhere, so no one will ever find it. So, yeah, that's just a funny scene. That like even we have old. No, see, Brandon's just doing it on his hands there. You got the drummer over there. But yeah, it'd just be funny that we have like history with this film all the way back to our old band that we used to. Well, fuck around. We weren't even a band at that point. We were just 3 dudes hanging out, 4 dudes, 5, however many showed up that day.
Watching Fight Club, playing music.
But yeah, something I tried to count also yesterday that was kind of fun when we watched it is the Tyler flashes that happen before you meet Tyler.
Yeah.
We got 4 of them. I think there's more. But we also made it so every time we saw Tyler, we had to take a drink. So that I got to this line. Brandon, you're almost done with your mimosa.
Me too.
You guys, we're
good.
only like
It's
10
so
minutes.
tasty.
I'm on note 4 out of like 85. We got some time to go here, boys.
There's a fridge in the other room.
I know. I'm giving you sass.
Small sips.
Champagne and orange juice is delicious, though. But as it warms up, it gets less. It gets less delicious as it warms
Small
up.
sips.
It's all relative.
But yeah. No. Okay, you told me to write down IKEA hacking. What the hell was that for?
Oh, IKEA hacking. I just thought it was interesting. I just talked about it earlier that day. I just found out about this, but since this movie like has all that IKEA shit, I just thought it would be kind of fun. People are buying different pieces of IKEA furnitures and combining them and Frankensteining IKEA furnitures and creating new tables out of them, and it's called IKEA hacking.
You can buy individual parts of IKEA tables?
So you can buy multiple tables, but I think they're catching on, so they're putting certain things like closer to each other on the website and shit. But I hope they move in the way of selling like individualized parts because that would be really cool. But yeah, no, it's just people buying like this countertop and like these table legs. Yeah.
People just using IKEA more like Legos and less.
Yes.
Well, no, I guess they are using them more like Legos,
Yeah.
where you can. There is a
Mix
set
and
that
match,
you can
yeah.
make out of it, but you can also take these parts with other things and put them all together and make your own little abomination of a spaceship.
Yeah, there's whole threads on it on Reddit.
Oh
and stuff.
shit! Okay,
Yeah.
IKEA hacking.
Yeah, I just wanted to like bring that up real quick.
Yeah,
I thought
because
it'd be a fun
he
little-
is one of Tyler Edward narrator man Edward Norton is he's obsessed with IKEA,
Yeah.
which is kind of
How can
funny
you
because
not?
like when I think of we were too young at this. I didn't realize how far back IKEA like went on that type of stuff because he was talking about IKEA catalog, which is also I put down like who orders like from catalogs.
Yeah,
I'm
he
like,
was
oh
like-
god, we're too young
Right.
for this
He
movie.
was just calling to order something. I'm like, who does that?
Yeah. I was like, who does that? And then I remember all the times I called into Lego magazine to order Legos, and I was like, oh, okay.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think I knew that was a
You were
thing.
Lego
either.
hacking.
I was Lego. Well,
Oh.
that's why I drew the parallel to Lego so quickly. I'm like, oh, I did that all the time. Order something online and just put shit together, make a weird ass spaceship. I mean, it's a boat and a ship.
I was wondering why you said spaceship with IKEA furniture
So-
stuff, and he goes, "Yeah, you could build a spaceship." I was just like, "I mean, you could build a table. I don't know how I'm gonna like if you
Well,
get into
let's
Mars."
work- let's
but-
start there.
So
and then work our way
I
up.
quoted Nakey Jakey, who has a great Red Dead 2 video where he talks about how it's Legos. He's like, it's a boat and a ship. I had something super similar to that. I used like the bottom of a boat and I put like ship wings on it. So I saw that in the video. I was like, oh. I was like, I did that too.
Still can't watch that video.
I know, right? Oh God, John Courage. Who the hell's John? See, I wrote these notes. I said John's courage look acting. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. There was. We drank a lot that last night because we were getting ready for a
was
Suns
Saturday.
game. It was Saturday.
And the Suns were playing.
I mean, last week when it was Saturday.
Every day's a
Every day's a
Saturday.
Saturday.
You don't have to feel guilty about shit. Every day's a Saturday.
Oh, it was one of the guys at the group home. He like one of the not group home group
meetings?
The meetings.
Oh,
He
yeah.
like one of the like not regulars extras. Like you see him in the corner, he just looks up and just a super serious look. Like and it just cuts away from like that was a weird hold on that guy's look. He didn't have any speaking lines or anything. He was just in like the corner of the frame and it's just like this serious looking extra. And I made me laugh. But also the sudden jump to him being addicted to the meetings and all
'cause
that.
He finds out that when he cries, he can sleep.
Yeah, it's like there's a huge time in this movie passes at a very weird rate. And that's something
Yeah.
I noticed at that point. Like he jumps like, oh, for months I was going to this. I'm like, months? It's like, oh yeah, I was fine. And then she showed up and was like, damn, this because the movie goes so fast in its narration, you kind of don't realize how much time passes.
Yeah, it makes
you
it seem
know?
like it's just like days, but it's weeks, months. You kind of lose track of it.
It's kind of funny.
I never really thought about that, but that's a good point.
But yeah. Oh yeah, the cave. I just wrote how crappy the cave set looks, like the blue
Right.
sheet, and for his cave.
You mean Happy Feet?
Yeah, Happy Feet.
Yeah.
God
Edward
damn.
Norton stars in Happy Feet for a little bit in Fight Club.
Oh, such a bad CGI penguin.
Let's just
So-
say it now. All of the CGI in this movie is pretty garbo. It has not held up.
No, not at all.
No.
That
Their
scene-
60,000 or 60 mil did not go towards good CGI.
Yeah.
Though I bet it did cost a lot for them to get that fucking Matrix effect for that
No, for
sex
the bullet
scene.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
They used the real bullet time one for the sex scene. Why? It just seems
Because-
so How much do you think they paid for that technology at that time? That was 1999.
That was probably a good
large
chunk of
chunk of
money.
That was
Yeah.
like, did we need that?
No.
Absolutely not. Did it age well? Absolutely not.
I feel like they could have got the same effect and just had them there and just had a apparatus that
It would have been
spun
funnier
around
to
them.
see him screw her belly button.
Yeah.
You know?
Give me some Tommy Wiseau style.
Right?
Yeah.
That's sweet, sweet music.
God.
I don't need
Oh, I wrote the Chloe diss burn when he disses the cancer patient
Oh,
Chloe.
yeah.
God, I forgot what the diss was though. It was so mean. Like he's like, oh, looks like a skeleton walks or something like that.
Oh, he said
God.
she looks like Meryl Streep's skeleton.
Oh, right. That was so sad. And
I
then
was
like,
like, oh,
and then the whole thing with her like her whole
haven't
like
been
sex
waiting.
thing. Like that was fucking
I have
weird.
anal nitrate. And
Yeah,
I wrote,
anal
do
nit-
not Google.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we were curious what anal nitrate was.
And I'm not gonna Google it. I don't
was
want to.
curious.
I
enough to
haven't
search
Googled
it.
it
It was
either.
one of those things I'm like, nope, okay. And then I wrote over a year because that's when you talk about how much time has jumped. I was like, damn, okay. He goes to those meetings for a while. I'm moving off of anal nitrate, all right?
Yeah,
You're just
please
looking at
do.
me.
Anything
Don't you
else.
dare!
Don't Google it.
You remember
It's
napalm?
in the notes.
Oh, yeah, and then I wrote just how much of the movie is before Tyler because Tyler still hasn't showed up yet in all these notes.
Right.
But yeah. Star 60.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause
I
he-
star 69 do. Okay, yeah, because star.
Uh,
Is it star 69? Is that what he said? What it's the whole privacy thing for the phone calls where it's like you come up as a restricted number.
Fuck if I know.
I think he said star
That's what I'm
69,
saying.
but
I'm like,
isn't
that's
it-
one of those things where it's like I never knew that, but I knew that was a thing. Like I never
Right.
did that.
Yeah,
I
just
would
in
say
this day and
I
age, there's no need to do it.
I just remember one of my buddies, his family was like super protective of that, so all of his stuff was like preset to do that. So if I got a restricted call, I'm like, oh, it's probably this guy calling. I'm like, oh, hey, it is. It's your family star 69's all of your calls or something like that, or I don't know. Shows you how much we really use that stuff and how much we retained over the years when these cell phones came out. It's like, oh yeah, I don't need numbers or anything like that.
Right.
Consumerism. It's like it all's in circles. But yeah. God. Oh, okay. This is when we start getting, now that Tyler Durden is kind of into my notes, this is when we start getting all the better parts of the film, all the questions. Because let's be real, the first like 20, 30 minutes of this is just set up for Brad Pitt entering the film. Because he is like the star of the film. I mean, Edward Norton's on the cover of this one, but the more famous one is like Brad Pitt with the soap and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just because I got the special edition. But yeah. God. So the first question that Tyler asks that I want to ask you guys is, as you're passing by somebody, do you give them the ass or the crotch?
Ooh, yeah, I wanted to talk about this one.
Always the ass.
Always the ass.
Always the ass.
I do the S as well.
Okay, see? Because crotch is just like, you don't want this. Let me just...
Also, if I'm my thought process is more selfish, probably. If I'm in a movie, I ain't missing no movie to give you my crotch. You're gonna
No, good
take my
point.
ass. You
So
know,
you
take a
can
little
see
bit of
the
ass
scene?
so I can watch the movie as I'm walking out. Get as much as that as I can.
Okay, I see that. Even though
So they get a show and you get a show.
Yeah, I'm about to miss 5 minutes taking a piss. I might as well get every second I can.
5 minutes to piss?
Well, you got to
know,
walk
I
to
know, I'm
the
just giving you shit.
restroom.
You gotta
You got
wash
to
your hands
piss. You got to
after.
wash your hands. You got to dry them off on some stranger's shirt.
Yeah, because the paper towels are always out, and you don't trust those bacteria factories that are the hand dryers.
And they don't dry your hands all the way, so it's a lose-lose.
Exactly. Sorry. Yeah, and I just wrote outdated tech, so that was probably some CGI thing that just did not look good.
Yeah, more than likely.
And then this is when we start getting to the other second big thing is the famous quotable lines of the film. And the first one that I have written down is the things that you own end up owning you, which is like that's one of the things that kind of bugs me about Fight Club's online persona is the amount of edgelords that have taken to Tyler Durden.
Yeah.
Because Tyler Durden is, at least the character Brad Pitt portrays, is the narrator's, inhibitions let go. He's, his perfect form of himself, and so
Not even perfect, but
not
just
even
like
idealized.
Free to do live his
looser.
life and do what he wants.
Yeah, he's just more of his free spirited version of himself, I would say. Like,
But that's attractive for a lot of odd personalities who'd want to idolize it, and hence Project Mayhem and the Fight Club and all of that. People who idolize that type of personality. So, but yeah,
trying to take down Big Wiener.
time to take down Big Wiener
That's what Project Mayhem was all about.
with soap.
Yep.
Gosh,
Anal nitrate. I have
Don't
to know.
look it up.
no. Oh yeah, and I had Paper Street written down, which made me laugh at first because the name of his house is like the Paper Street Soap Company, because it's like on that, and it's an industrial part of town. And I've been playing a ton of City Skylines, and I've been trying to get it to where I start naming my streets. And every time I do industrial zones, I'm always like Foggy Street, Industrial Road, Paper Street, Watermill Road. I'm just I'm never that creative. And it's funny to see just Paper Street and there's a paper mill on that. I'm like, reminds me of Mill Street here. Oh, I don't like the smile on your face.
It's not what we thought. That's why I have a smile.
Okay.
That's good, man.
All right.
It's amyl nitrate.
What is that?
It's a drug.
Oh.
Prescription needed. It can treat and prevent chest pain.
What?
Yeah. It's, I guess, a lot of people call them poppers.
Oh, it's an addictive type of painkiller type thing?
Not
Doesn't
even
seem like
necessarily like a painkiller. It works by relaxing blood vessels, so it probably has something to do with that.
That would make sense, yeah.
I'm not going to read exactly how that drug works while I'm trying to podcast, but I know it's a drug, and I know it's not something about anal.
because she was talking about
napalm.
lubricants and
Right.
toys. And
Yeah,
it's
she's like, I got dildos, I got amyl nitrate, and you're just like, did you just say anal nitrate?
I
What
never
the
would- I'm-
fuck is that? Like,
I never would have thought it was that. Okay. It's better, so
Yeah.
I'll take it.
one thing I wrote that just made me laugh was freaking Brad Pitt on the bicycle.
Oh, God.
It made me laugh so
Oh,
much.
yeah,
this
riding
last
through
time.
the house. That's
Riding through the
amazing.
house while it's raining, he just fucking biffs it. It seems like that was I hope that was ad libbed. I hope he actually just fucking biffed it and they caught it on camera. That'd be
Right.
It probably wasn't, but it's one of those things where that'd be hilarious. It's hidden facts Aragorn breaking his toe when he kicks the helmet in Lord of the Rings.
what?
See,
But
you don't
also-
joke on that part of Reddit.
But also, when they first fight in front of the bar, when he goes, has the narrator hit him. Mm-hmm. When he hits him in the ear, I need to rewatch it now. But supposedly that actually happened. That wasn't like set up. So it wasn't more of an improv thing. It wasn't scripted to do it that way. So he actually hit him in the ear. And I think, or not, I think, but it's supposedly that you can see Edward Norton he smiles because he just did something and that happened, so that his reaction to getting hit was genuine because he actually just got hit in the ear.
Oh, why'd you hit me in the ear?
Why'd
man?
you hit me in the ear?
So now I have to rewatch it to kind of just look at Edward Norton to kind of see if I can see that smirk. I'm like, oh my god, it was real.
God, and then this is when I started that. In that scene, is he's looking at all the books, and you got the I Am Jack's colon, and is there a thing that I Am Jack's Smirking Revenge?
Yeah.
What is that? Why? Is that a band or something or a song?
It was a song from Icy
Stars. Okay. I was like, why do I know?
And that's why when we saw
name?
that song
Okay.
name, we were like, Fight Club.
Fight clear.
Fight Club. Okay. I was about to say, I'm like, I don't remember.
That's why every time I hear that line, I don't even remember what song. It might actually be that specific song, which would be perfect. But Icy Stars, there's that one line from a song that plays through my head anytime I hear that line. So those two, this movie and that band are
That's pretty funny.
linked forever in my brain.
God. But yeah. So I noticed that he goes every Saturday night to the fight club that they set up.
Isn't
I
that
was
just perfect?
Every Saturday, boys.
At
That was
Lou's.
kind of funny.
Every Saturday at Lou's. That's where we're recording this. Lou's basement.
It's during the day.
We have a little fight club after this. You're welcome to join. Nah, you didn't hear it from me, though.
And also, Lou's is a topless bar, but you never see any girls in any of the scenes inside, or not even like
No, well, they close up the whole thing when they go in. He rushes everybody out, and
like even when he walks in and all that, they don't. It's just like a regular bar scene.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And well, I guess it'd be the one scene where we'd be able to like actually see the bar active when they walk in. It's like, all right, close up, everybody. But yeah. Then I had to write down the rules just because, it's important. Rule number 1, do not talk about Fight Club. Rule number 2, do not talk about Fight Club, which is also, this whole thing is, one of the most quoted things, these rules. And then everybody kind of never remembers the rest of the rules. Like, do you remember how many? You just watched it yesterday. Do you remember how many rules there are?
7, right?
Technically 8.
It was 8.
Because
I
the
was
first
thinking
one,
7 too.
first and second rule are the same.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it's do not talk, do not talk. When someone signals to stop, you stop. 2 guys to a fight, 1 fight at a time.
No shirt.
No shirt, no shoes.
No service.
The fights go as long as they need to. And if it's your first night, you got to fight. So there's 8 rules for that.
And speaking of one of the rules, did you know why the rule for no shirt was broken for Bob's fight?
Because probably the prosthetics on Meatloaf wouldn't have worked.
Exactly.
I was about to say,
That's
I
the
don't
only
think that
reason.
makeup could have gotten that to look natural at all with Bob.
Especially at that time, yeah.
You mean Meatloaf doesn't have?
Bitch titties? No. No, actually, they were
His
just too
tits were
glorious
like
for
gods.
people to see them, so couldn't handle
They're
it.
just too good for this earth.
Too good for this earth.
He does die.
But yeah, no, that's when they start asking all the
brutal way.
questions. So I know, right? I always forget how brutal that scene is when they pull off the.
That was a very brutal scene.
Oh.
But yeah, let's do some fun questions.
Okay, some fun questions. All right, so this is when they start talking about who they want to fight. So if you had to fight any celebrity, who would you fight?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt? Oh shit. Okay, you're just going straight into it, fighting Tyler Durden himself. Yeah, I don't want to lose 100%, or at least I don't want to.
He's aged.
Yeah,
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi. You want to fight Steve Buscemi?
Just
kinda
want
like
to
it.
win
Doesn't
that
like it,
bad,
man.
man. Come on.
Hey, I mean,
And I get some jokes out of it, too. That's fine.
God, see.
All right, George
What
R. R.
were the
Martin.
ones that they? What was the ones that they said? They said
It was Shatner.
Shatner and
Was Gandhi one of them?
Gandhi.
That was
one
the
of them.
religious
But
figure,
No,
the
historical
historical
figure. That's the
figure.
next question. So
Oh.
if you had to fight a historical figure, who would you fight?
They say Abraham Lincoln and Gandhi.
Yeah,
Which
okay.
are 2 very good ones.
Seriously.
I would do Theodore Roosevelt would be a good
Theodore
one.
Roosevelt, because if you win against Theodore Roosevelt, holy man, you took on the what was his?
Holy man, you took on the man himself. Breaking news. Man took on other men.
That's about the time that those news reports were going on, if I'm not
Tesla.
mistaken. Tesla?
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla, you'd in a boxing match. I'd rather fight Edison. That guy was an asshole. He'd probably cheat though. So
I guess that's it. I would rather just box with Teddy Roosevelt or something, you know.
I know.
I don't want to straight up bare knuckle.
Bare knuckle brawl. You want to be
Fist fight, the
the
man
whole
fight.
ring and everything with the
Yeah.
gloves and all
Yeah.
that old timey
Yeah.
style. Yeah, big
I'm
old
gonna
boxing.
bop you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take you on. I'll bop you.
I'm gonna bop you in your droopy snoot.
And your droopy snoot. Your snoot's gonna droop this hard. I'm gonna bop you.
After
in the-
I bop you, your droop's gonna be snooping for a whole year.
I'm gonna pop you in the next week.
I would say this. I guess if my fight a celebrity, he did even Shatner. If I fight them now or fight them in their prime too. That's the thing, because it'd be fun to fight Leonard Nimoy in like the 60s or 70s, since he's a Shatner in the 60s. Like, or I assume he'd say Shatner in the 60s, because fighting Shatner in the 90s would have been. Oh man, I just remember getting all weird with all the questions. Yeah. Moving along. God. This is when I started to notice some of the things with the bus that the video pointed out. Like they only paid for one bus fare
Well, yeah.
and all that, and then, like no one he pushes past Tyler, but then he just like walks. Like it's a very odd scene how it's all cut together. It's like
When he only apologizes.
only
to
apologizes,
once, not to both of them.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but no, I just wrote that down. I was starting like, ooh, I saw this here, but yeah. Oh, sunglasses. Oh, it's when he goes to Marla's. He's wearing those big red sunglasses. That's something. Brad Pitt's outfit in this film is just all over the place.
Right.
Yeah.
The costume designers had a lot of fun. The whole set designers had this film's got a look of like grunge in not a gray way. I mean, this film's dark, but it does have a decent amount of color to it. There's a lot of variation on the scenes. It's not like they just put a filter over all of it, you know.
Well, that and I think too, like the way Brad Pitt's Tyler, like the way it ties in with the movie, like he doesn't fit in with everyone else because he stands out so much. So I think it's another way to like kind of show he's not real, or like he doesn't belong because he's just so different.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't. Yeah, he's just like actually just he's just a unicorn compared to everyone else.
Speaking of which, he's a unicorn that is insanely shredded in this movie. Holy crap. He was like, there's a lot of scenes where he's basically like 3/4 like fully naked almost, so you just can't see it.
Yeah.
Wearing gloves, which I thought was hilarious in that scene.
Yeah, it was pretty
God,
funny.
I did
Yeah,
not
like
cap
those
that
gloves.
until this time. I was like, he's got dishwashing gloves on.
I never thought about it, but like this like second, third time watching it, I was like, I see why they left it in.
It's just a really funny joke. It's like it brings up a question that you don't want answered. It's one of those jokes. So it's like, okay, all right. God, and how terrible the fat scene is next, where
where they're
the
trying to
bag
steal the
rips.
fat.
I always forget how
And you just
gross
always
that
see it
is.
happening, or like coming, like especially like even on the
They
first
go
time
over
watching.
the barbed wire. I didn't see the barbed wire that cut the bag until I was like, oh,
And they try to save it. It's like, no, it's gone. The second that was punctured,
oh. Who wants human fat?
just
to do
dumped
that?
on them.
That's gross.
Makes the best soap.
Yeah, it makes the best soap, but ugh. But yeah.
Holds the scent. That's what they say.
Another one. Tyler's words come straight out of my mouth, or Tyler took the words from my mouth. He's like there's little one-off quips that the narrator does. It's like because it's your mouth. And it's
Right.
little things
or
like
like on
that
the
where
plane when
it's
they
like-
first meet, same briefcase,
Yeah,
and then and then in the scene like when they're talking about like their like history, like with their parents, like the same thing is like anytime Brad Pitt would talk, saying something is like, oh, me too, or like same here, like that they had
Well,
such a
they
similar
also-
past, but there's random people that met each other.
doesn't it? I was trying to follow the continuity of like, don't they also kind of double back? Where he's like, oh, I didn't have a dad. Oh, my dad raised me. My dad left. He married.
Right.
Like they.
Yeah.
So it's like the story. It's like is he making up backstory for Tyler? It's like hard to tell which one was his actual backstory.
Right.
You know. And I think that's how it's intended, but it's still just an interesting way
Comes
to do
across
it.
like because he's in the beginning of developing that persona, so it's everything's not set in stone yet because he's still figuring it out.
Yeah. So there was a running theory I want to talk about that we just saw that like Marla also isn't real. How much do you guys believe in that one? 'Cause
I never thought about that.
I never thought about it either. I thought that like he created Tyler to be with Marla at first.
Right.
I could
Kind
believe
of.
it, but Tyler coms after Marla.
Well,
in
yeah,
the
true.
timeline.
That is true.
okay, yeah. Because Marla messes up Marla was created when he was if he created Marla, he created her while he was actually receiving therapy and crying and sleeping.
Yeah.
Which I guess to some degree doesn't make sense. So unless it's the thing that the meetings and stuff were working and it got to a point where it wasn't enough anymore. So then she got created and it was an explanation of why the meetings weren't working anymore. It's a stretch,
that's a
but
stretch.
that somewhat
I
makes
think
sense.
it's a theory, but I think it's just kind of thin.
Right. Yeah, because
I think too many people interact with her.
true.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just imagining it. But
Well, that
I
and
feel like they
because
do.
I was like,
Maybe he's just imagining it.
because like the idea like because the people that are following him, they're so dead set and like following his every word despite all the craziness. They kind of they just allow it. So like when like especially in like the diner scene, like that
Forget
was
how
mentioned
deep
too.
his like influence goes.
Yeah, it's like
in
so
those
many, like,
in the
all
last
major
third of the
cities.
movie.
They make a cult.
Yeah. The people don't even know what he looks like and all that stuff. I was like, oh my gosh.
Franchised out a cult, basically.
That is one of the big themes that we just watched a video about where it's like he basically there's fighting against consumerism in this whole film, but he basically creates his own franchises and basically starts his own, not consumerist. See, they thought they were slaves, so he mixed them into different slaves. Basically, they're
Right.
slaves to consumerism, then they become slaves to Project Mayhem. So it's just like.
They just
I don't
found
know.
a new
I don't know
thing
if that's
to
a
follow.
commentary on like human nature. I feel, but it's
Meant to
very
serve.
subtle.
Well, that in its perspective too. Like for them, they see themselves as the righteous, that they're doing something right. But then on the other side, the people that they're fighting against see them as terrorists.
Yeah.
So it's just all perspective. Like they think what they're doing is right, so then they're the heroes of their own story. So they're not gonna. They're just gonna continue with it because it's against what they think is wrong. So they're just gonna keep going for it. Crazy.
But yeah, so it turns out Bob is a Tuesday and Thursday boy. And that's when he goes, oh, I go Saturday. Oh, I go Tuesday and Thursday. It's
like,
kind of funny.
huh.
They talk about that. It's like, he's a Tuesday and Thursday boy. Well, every day is a Saturday, so,
Yep.
you know.
Especially if you're going to lose.
Something I thought was interesting is how this film is over 20 years old now, and the middle children of history, Gen X kind of venting speech that he's got going on in the whole film when he's basically hyping up how he's making Project Mayhem. Like, still a lot of that's applicable to over 20 years later. Like, a lot of that Gen X rage that was coming out of him is still very much in the political, social context. So I was like, oh, this still hits 20 years later.
Right.
And the whole rock star thing when he's talking to everybody, did you catch that? Where he's like, you think you're this rock stars? He looks straight at Jared Leto.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep, because
I
when
never
Jared
caught
Leto
it
enters
until
the
like
film.
reading stuff about the movie. I was like, huh.
I did not know Jared Leto played that character for the longest time because I didn't really know. Like, I just knew him as the guy from 30 Seconds to Mars.
Right.
So,
Like my second watch through, it's like because I looked out for it because I heard about it, and I'm like, no shit, because I barely knew what he looked like at that time. Or like I think when
He's
the first
blonde
watch
as
through,
hell.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
very different with the blonde hair.
because I think I had that moment. I'm like, really? Because I had a vague idea what he looked like when I first watched it, and the second time going through, like, had more of an idea, and then seeing, I had to kind of, I'm like, huh. But yeah, it's easy to miss him just because they make him look so much different than he normally does.
but yeah.
Before and after he gets brutally beaten up.
Oh, he gets his shit fucked
It almost seems like they use a different person for the character.
I know, right?
Like afterwards, like
Some heavy prosthetics on his face.
Yeah, I forgot how much the narrator and Tyler, I guess, beat the shit out of Edward Norton. And like, no, even everybody's like,
Jared Leto.
that's what I meant. Edward Norton beats the shit out of Jared Leto.
yeah. You can
But
see
he
like
is also surprised to see Edward Norton beating up Edward Norton.
Yeah, but that's also something that I saw was one of the plot holes is when they see him beating the shit out of himself. It's like, hey buddy, you okay? You fighting yourself? Or like it just cuts away from that conversation.
It's
It's
like
like,
nonchalant, just like they just accepted that.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of is easy if it's someone like outside of a bar. It's the environment. It's more easy to accept. It's still kind of a stretch.
so how? Yeah, it's one of those things. It's, yeah. But then the whole fight with Lou. Sorry, Lou, I didn't catch that, Lou.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I'm still not getting it.
Sorry, Lou.
It's like give me your word. That was a fucked up scene.
That whole scene, it's one of those things where it's like I don't remember those scenes until I rewatch them. So it's something I kept on saying multiple times. This movie is dense. There's a lot to it, and there's not a lot of breathing room. There's not very many exterior shots. The score to this film is good, but it's subtle, and because it needs to be, because there's so much talking and expositioning and stuff going on that it just. There's not a lot of breathing room in this movie. It's just film. It just kind of keeps on going.
And there's not
Yeah.
too many scenes with Brad Pitt's character that he's like seems like really crazy. Like he has like the whole thing with the hand. You have the fight with Lou. I think there's like two other instances. There's like the.
But it's also not crazy enough to where you wouldn't see his character do that. All of the stuff he does, are believable. It doesn't like
Is it teach a
cross the
lesson
realm.
or show
like you can
his
see.
passion for what's going on? So he's the only character that can get away with something so obscure.
Yeah, it's crazy, but he's always bordering that line. So when he crosses it, it doesn't really feel too out of touch.
Because it still comes across that he's in control.
Yeah.
Like he's not just crazy to be crazy.
Tyler's just like the little devil on his shoulder.
Right.
Mhm.
He's the like you think about Jackie stays up all night, learns how to make soap, accidentally realizes that he figures out how to make a bomb because he figured out how to make soap, compartmentalizes that information in the back of his brain. He goes, well, I'm never going to use that. Tyler Durden goes, well, hey, nah, we're going to blow up your apartment. You know?
I'm gonna get you to realize your possessions don't matter, and you're gonna live your real life. Let's do it.
So if you had to pick a fight with someone that you're gonna lose, how would you try to start a fight with someone? The movie has a couple funny,
my face.
like a couple funny.
Spraying the hose.
Yeah,
Spraying
that's
the
the
hose
best.
is the easiest and the best. It's the most like, because if someone gets wet, they're just probably gonna walk on by, except for like the occasional people.
No,
What the fuck?
I know what I do.
All
So it ties in both, I think, from this movie and then Big Daddy. So someone's riding a bike, just put something in the spokes and make them go off the bike. Eventually, that's gonna get someone to fight you.
Yeah.
And like all the times it doesn't, you just get a laugh out of it. That's fucked up.
Oh, you might hurt somebody though. The whole point is to get in a fight that you lose.
Yeah. So he gets hurt and he's getting pissed off and he's gonna fight me.
Yeah.
I would just think you'd get like some like in the air horn or like some of the, what's that spray? Like not
Like
the
silly string?
not silly string. Yeah, you just get some really fucking annoying stuff, or you just make the noise that Jim Carrey makes and Dumb and Dumber.
Dog shit at somebody.
Throw a piece of dog shit at someone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, that'll start a fight.
Yeah. And then that way they're not getting hurt. I still get a laugh.
It's still sticking the spokes.
God. So I got my air horn, you got the stick, and Brain's got dog shit.
Yeah.
Alright, so there we go.
It's a good kind of encompassing.
Somebody's fighting one of us.
One of us is gonna get our ass kicked. Oh God! And then from right after that, like I have 3 scenes, 3 lines in a row, so they happen like back to back to back. There's the whole fight with Lou and the Christ imagery of him all doing that. Then there's the pick a fight you're gonna lose, and then it's like okay, now it's the office scene where Edward Norton tries to get like his severance
funding,
package, basically. And that scene is so intense with Edward Norton beating the shit out of himself right there. If that isn't a clue that like there's only one of them,
Right.
it's that's such a hard on the nose clue that it's like wait a minute, he's doing some pretty messed up stuff to himself here.
Yeah.
That seems kind of more like a Tyler thing than a narrator thing. The fact that they have Edward Norton do it is just like, well, because Tyler didn't work there, he does. So
Yeah, Tyler works the little shitty jobs on the side.
Yeah.
Nighttime jobs.
this is crazy. Oh yeah, and then I'm Jack smirking revenge. Yeah, I wrote it right there.
But I guess that also ties in like the idea like why he works with this. Yeah, like that he's restless. He's not sleeping, so he does something like to occupy his time while he's awake. He's not sleeping anyway.
Deep in thoughts. Deep in
No, I'm just reading my notes. It's just like I am Jack's wasted life. I am Jack. I just wrote down like all of his stuff, for all that.
Good thing you're here to translate those.
Okay,
I can't read whatever language you wrote down in.
I can actually read it fairly well. I mean, I think it's
Try
my
it upside down.
It's my profession. I think that's why.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you got that doctor's notes. You're like,
Yeah.
this is scribble.
Only a few I can't decide.
Yeah.
But
The vet scene, run Forrest. Oh god,
Oh,
the
yeah.
vet scene where he pulls
If
the
you're not a
guy.
veterinarian in 6, or if you're not on your way to being
Oh,
a veterinarian in 6
God.
months, I'll kill you.
That is such an
Run,
intense.
Forrest,
Run.
run.
I was like, oh god, such an intense scene. Let's just take a guy at gunpoint. That's such like a not sociopathic maybe or guys it's
Fucking
fucked up at least. Yeah,
psychopathic.
psychopathic. But yeah, no.
Guess he's also
the gun wasn't loaded, guys. He wasn't going to do anything. He was innocent.
I just wrote too fucking blonde.
too fucking blind. Take it, Jared Leto.
Yeah, Jared Leto. Yeah.
Who else?
God, I don't know. I brought up the whole thing of castration because they were talking about the whole. That this is when they were grabbing the. They're in the bar scene. They're grabbing like, is he a senator or no? He was like a police chief or something. He was about the investigation.
Whoever they take.
Oh, that's
Into-
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
And that's when they straight up, oh, I'll take your balls. Also, that's something that a lot of people point out as plot holes is the movie element of keeping the audience with the narrator while Tyler does his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, how can he be back with everybody else and also be
Also
in the restroom at the same time.
Yeah.
Like the kind of quick jumps.
Mhm.
Like if some like him in the front seat and him driving, if he's just driving talking to himself, but like if you're trying to think of like how this could be happening when there's only one person. And I would put it up to like movie stuff, and if it wasn't for what they do at the end of the film with the fight between Tyler and the narrator, where they show the security camera footage. I hate the security camera.
Yeah, I feel like that breaks a lot of it. 'Cause it's like so much it's not possible.
Not possible. Not.
Yeah, haven't dragged himself.
It looks like a bad paranormal film.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
And it would have been. I feel like it would have been better if they had it where it's a more realistic thing, where like what he actually could do, but he's envisioning it as it being dragged, but really he's just scooting himself along. That would make more sense. Like. Because I feel like they could have got that across, but then they could have made it more believable.
Well, at this point in the film, you already know they're the same person.
Right.
So how
I
crazy?
feel like that could have been impactful because
It could have been more impactful if you see him like instead of being dragged and both of his arms are out, you see him kind of pretending to be dragged as he pulls himself.
Right.
How
'Cause his
crazy
delusion's
would
so
that
strong
be?
that
Instead of, like-
he's doing it to himself, but he is really believing it's being done to him.
Yeah, instead of
by
like,
someone
He's
else.
got his hands up.
well, he looks. It looks like he's being like dragged. Like the
It does
movements
look
he
like
make
yeah,
look wrong.
Like
The
if
way
like
he's
a little,
scooting
like,
his feet
box
aren't
thing.
right. Like he
He shouldn't have enough core strength to do that.
No, somebody had dragged him in a green seat, like green.
Green
suit.
outfit, yeah.
And that's
And
the
it's just-
problem. It's like it just doesn't
It,
work.
there's a lot of things in this movie that you can have the suspension of disbelief. That was one of the few
Yes.
times in the movie where my suspension of disbelief was like,
Not
all right,
too much.
a little bit too much on this scene.
It's almost like they did that. They're like, we don't have time to do it again, so let's just use it.
Yeah. What are you doing over here? Bumping your glass down on the table? Don't. Okay, there you go. He centered his glass. I was like, what are you doing? Stop messing with an empty man's glass. Sorry,
Empty man glass.
Empty man's glass. Empty.
He called you an empty man.
Would you like to try and read my notes?
I mean, I can read them.
All right, so here we go. I'm at this part right here. So, yeah.
Good luck.
The best thing about car scene. You have any idea what the fuck that means? Because I do.
Yeah, the car crash.
Okay, there you go. All right. The car crash.
Like,
Yeah.
Like the handwriting's not that bad, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
Okay.
It's just because it's upside down. That was the real problem.
All right.
Because I can't read upside down very well. So.
See, so the next part I got was the car crash scene, which I don't remember. Also, one of those scenes I do
Yeah,
not
I actually do
remember.
remember. I just don't. For some reason, I don't remember the actual crash happening. I remember everything leading up to that.
Yeah, I remember the talk back and forth between them, and then I guess the crash is just, even though it's very well done, it's intense, but it's just he pulls him out of the fire, and it's just like, okay.
And the thing I didn't notice till today that he's pulled out the driver's side. I never caught that.
Yeah, he was, because he was in the passenger side, but he gets pulled out of the driver's side,
Right.
but the car's flipped, so it looks like he's coming out of the right side, but he's not, because he was the driver. Yeah, because we're kind of jumping around here towards the end, but I also got some, I wrote down there's the Last of Us 2 imagery, because it went to like a lot of the kind of like broken down stuff that it did there, and is like, see, you see where I found that? I know you said that, and you looked back, and then I was like, where the fuck was the Last of
I
Us 2?
thought that said lose temporary.
The Last of Us 2 imagery.
Oh, I see.
Lose temporary.
Yeah. See, if I was looking at it now, if I didn't know what it is, I see Tilo 2 imagery.
I guess that's
What does this say?
I felt like destroying something beautiful.
Oh, okay.
See?
I get. I real love destroy sounds.
Death fell. Death
Yeah,
fell.
yeah.
Tick it,
Death
tick it,
fell.
tick it, tick it,
Yeah.
tick it, tick it. Sounds like a Scandinavian metal band. Death fell.
Okay, what about this one?
How quietly Edward Norton switches.
Okay,
There's some. I take some notes that I feel like I don't like. Oh, that was a fun scene, but I don't have enough to talk about that in the full podcast. Like they do some cool like acting stuff where they switch sides to have Edward Norton do the important things.
who's hot?
Boy, she is hot. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna have to. No, it wasn't Marla. That was. Hold on. Let me look at the surrounding scenes because I don't remember. I wrote that as a maybe. I think it was more.
That sound is great.
I don't know what that sound was, but I liked it.
It was. That sounds weird. God damn. This conversation is over quickly. I'm gonna have to figure out who is hot.
I'm trying to think.
I'll get back to you. We'll pull it up here when it's over. Because I don't remember. That sounds like sarcasm from me. So I was like, who is...
Either that
Is someone on fire or something? I don't remember.
I might be. It sounds like a joke, so it might be someone on fire or something. I don't know. I'll have to take a look at that. We'll see if it's actually someone who's toasty. I'm not toasty. Hot. I was toasty. What did we were drinking yesterday? We had vodka with more vodka.
It was
and
okay.
God.
So it was Tito's.
Wait, what about the vodka?
No, that was triple sec. Was the third thing.
It was Tito's, some triple sec, some lime juice, and then you fill it up with either lemonade or 7-Up, and then you add a little bit of grenadine,
lime juice,
and then some actual lime juice, and then
a real lime,
and then a salt and sugar rim. But I was also adding a shot of that triple berry Smirnoff to that too.
It was delicious, and we had like a decent amount of them, 2 or 3, I don't remember.
Yeah.
So yeah,
2, 3, something like that.
and then this was also after the Suns lost, so I was super pissed by here. So yeah. Robert Paulson isn't. Oh, Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson.
His name
There we
is
go.
Robert Paulson.
Yeah.
His name is Robert Paulson.
That whole scene with Meatloaf dying and all that was pretty brutal. Like, I remember watching that the first time. Even now, like, when they pull the head thing and the whole brain
the back of his head
splash on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, oh! Because I don't remember them shooting him in the head. I thought he just got, like, shot in the heart or something.
Right. Well, yeah, you would think that they would get a body shot because they're just shooting at someone, like someone running away. But it's like to make that type of shot.
Mm-hmm. And also, Cinema Sins, which I watched before this, brought up a great point. How the hell did they get Bob's body out of there?
Shot out.
I wondered that, like, because the cop shoots him.
Yeah.
So how the fuck did they get the body out? Bob's not a little dude.
No, Bob has bitch shits.
They need at least 2 people, which they did.
They did,
So they're
but-
being actively shot at, which they know they're being shot at because one of them got shot.
So it's like, yeah.
It's no good.
Yeah. The whole, something I brought up, the whole Tyler isn't here in my notes, is the whole conversations that, I think we get 2 or 3 of them throughout the film on the mornings, like, post-sex thing between Tyler and Marla, where you get a couple conversations where he's in his narrator, like, Edward Norton mode, while he's talking to Marla, and they do a very good job of dancing around, like, pronouns and, like, subjects, and like, to where it's like, you think, as the audience, you think they're talking about Tyler, but they're both talking about themselves. Just it's good writing, but weird writing because it doesn't sound natural because they're having to dance around the obvious things.
Well, that and how they do too with Brad Pitt always being just outside of reach from from her.
They're not never in the same room,
but it's like,
except for the one time where he brings her out.
But it's like the way it's done, so like it's believable. I feel like too, because. That like the interaction that they have, it's just it's just a fling. Like there's no actual relationship there, so they're just screwing around. So it's like it's believable that they would constantly stop it, guys. So it was interesting. It wasn't the second time watching it through. That's when I was like, they really don't have they have very limited to no interaction with each other outside of like the obvious scenes where they're together, like, but it's not really them. So it's like,
How do you two feel about the 2 lines that Edward Norton says when he's like, the first kind of like hint that there's a twist coming, and then the actual twist happens? The whole, please remain in your seats, and we have just lost cabin pressure.
I liked it.
See, it was one of the things where I liked it the first time, but as I rewatch it, I kind of don't like those lines nearly as much, because it's just like, oh, it sounds kind of more like, I felt like it would have been like, it's more along this movie's plot, tone. To do that though, so I kind of agree with that, because like if this was trying to be a more serious film, which it isn't. I mean, it's dark and serious, but it doesn't take itself seriously in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like a more quote unquote serious film would have had that drop happen, then it would have had a score hit and like or something like that, and it would like he would, what do you mean? But it's not that type of film. So like it breaks the fourth wall in the narration plot and then just moves on, and it just it starts bringing up all the examples, and it's just like. Something I noticed right there, that this movie's tone is very. It's not. It's different in the way it handles all the stuff. inconsistent in its own way.
Yeah.
You know, it created this type of. It's very Deadpool-y, but you know, like the fourth wall, less jokey, but very in its own way, kind of doing its own thing. You know,
Yes.
trying as much as it can.
Yeah. Which I like. Just makes it unique.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole shift to the whole where they realize that I didn't realize like how much time there was between the time he realizes that he was
Right.
a person to
Seemed
the
way
end,
shorter
because
before.
yeah, because he still goes to the police department and turns himself in. That's when we realize that freaking even the police are part of Project Mayhem, and he gets out of the freaking the police station in freaking boxers carrying a gun.
I know, right?
How the hell are you able to plot convenience? He's like, oh yeah, just let him out. He's carrying a gun. He's in boxer shorts, whatever. He just turned himself in. It's crazy.
He's a good guy.
But yeah. And then Tyler's final outfit.
Oh yeah,
Fucking glasses, yeah. The red pants or whatever.
Fishnet shirt thing.
And then the giant ass jacket.
Yeah.
It's like that is such a look.
Bald.
Bold. But yeah, no. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Jackass.
Oh, that was a good line.
Helena Bonham. So I didn't really know much about Helena Bonham Carter's earlier stuff, but apparently this film was kind of like not her style originally.
It's just
Like,
hard to
this is
believe because I
'cause
see
this-
her as that.
I know, right? Because this is really before like all the Tim Burton films with her in it,
Mhm.
or at least a lot of the major ones. So
Right.
it's kind of weird because it's like I totally see herself doing this role, so it's funny. But yeah. How does this is me watching the web monitors. How does physics work?
Right.
How does he grab it? He's lifting up by his feet. That's not how physics work.
But
It's
yeah,
pretty funny.
like, but before that fight happens, I like one of my favorite performances from Brad Pitt's there when he shoots at the van. Ever heard the narrator?
fucking
He's like, "Whoa!" Like the way he reacts is so like 400 pounds of nitroglycerin. Like the way he's so like theatrical with it, which I mean is fair because he almost killed himself, but
I know, right.
inadvertently. But I just loved it because he hadn't been like that like animated with.
No,
anything.
yeah, that was a little bit. He hit that Tyler Durden character. He never really played that like.
Mm-mm. No, like silly. It was
What,
always
he
like,
was more always suave with how he did everything. He always had control. He never really got Brad Pitt silly voice until that like scene right there. Wow, it's like okay.
It just makes me every time that scene comes up, I would just laugh. It's so good.
And also the freaking is it the green wire or the red wire? That whole scene is they're making fun of that. It's just like that's too classic.
I said not that one. Kicks him.
God, but yeah. And I just wrote the ending is fucking weird. It always is. Like it's just so much happens so fast once they get like to the building and him shooting his own cheek that hits Tyler's back. Like
Yeah.
and also I know the ending is way different from the book, but it's I don't know. So out of the three of us, you're the one who's read the book completely.
I did.
Yeah. And then do you remember the ending from the book or
I do.
okay. Well,
So you're being interrogated. Yes. No.
I'm
So-
gonna plead the fifth.
I was just about to say, like, do you like the book's ending better? I don't really know the differences too much. So
The big difference is just that he wakes up in the hospital.
okay, so it's like a continuation kind of.
Yeah, it's a continuation. He wakes up in the hospital. He like thinks he's in heaven. He thinks his doctor is like God at first, and then right at the end, a nurse like calls him Mr. Durden.
Oh, and that's kind of like
And that's how you know that it's not.
because the twist in the books isn't as like straight is because they don't like straight up say it like Brad Pitt does in the film. Like in the books, it's a lot more subtle, right?
It's slightly
He
different.
still thinks that like Tyler's a different person.
They still stay faithful to it for most part, but I mean, you do figure out that it is him, like he knows, but he thinks that he killed him.
Oh, he thinks that he killed him.
He
Okay.
thinks that it's all done, and then he wakes up. That's the thing, is like
Oh.
he thinks that it's all done, but then the nurse that he has is still in Fight Club. He has bruises on his face, and he goes, "Hey, Mr. Durden,
Oh,
like that.
okay. So
It's
he's still
going
in
on.
Project Mayhem.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
they're still doing Project Mayhem and stuff, and like everybody still thinks of him as Mr. Durden. Like he is Durden.
And the film, even though they do only stop one building from blowing up and they blow up a bunch of others, it's still kind of, it's somewhat like, quote unquote, happy-ish style ending.
Right.
You know?
No debt for America.
Which I don't think that's how it works.
That's not how it
That's not how it works at all.
That's not how it
Even
works.
the 90s, and even in the 90s, it's not how it works.
But I think between that scene, like I think that I love that it's done the way that it is, because the way it looks, the way the feeling you get from it, like using the Pixies, like "Where's My Mind," such an amazing song to use for.
I was about to
this
say, I
movie.
was like, I forget the name of that song. So
And then-
Pixies, Where's My
And
Mind?
even in Super Meat Boy, because they always do references to like video games and other like pop culture things, they for the end in that game when everything's falling apart, they have Super Meat Boy and Bandage Girl holding hands, watching everything crumble, and it's just shot for shot the same thing. I love it.
That's nice. I like allusions to this movie.
And it's like one of the few like movie references or like novel references, or I guess in this case it's movie reference.
Movies, music, games, and more, all over nice.
I can never say that in the right order. If you catch it, I always say it in a different order. And I haven't practiced it, because I just want to get better at it naturally over time, and hopefully by episode 100 we'll be good.
Well, it feels natural too, because then you're not. It doesn't seem like it's this, this, and this.
I'm like, shit, what? That's like saying movies, and I always forget one.
Today we're talking about big wiener, big goldfish,
And cutting it off.
cutting off big wieners and cutting off big goldfish.
One last dick pic.
All over a nice cold mimosa.
You know.
But yeah, I never knew there was one last dick pic in the
Oh yeah, right up the
right
flash.
slice right at the end until you pointed it out. I always just never paid. It always went by. I thought I saw it, but I'm not sure if I did. And then a girl's crying for some
He just
reason.
craved Oscar Mayer after watching Fight Club every time.
But I always had not enough buns or what. I don't
yeah,
remember
no, I
which.
never had enough buns.
Now I gotta go inside that.
Hold on. He has enough buns. He doesn't have enough hot dogs. He's got a bun but no dog.
Well, this we give him the ass, not the crotch.
Yeah.
Well, it's derailed quick.
But that's about it for my notes that I feel are podcast worthy. A lot of them are just reaction to shit. But yeah, that's what happens when you watch it the night before.
Super
Yeah.
in-depth research analysis on this movie that we did.
Well, it's just one of those movies that we really just love watching over and over again. We catch new stuff. Like, there's so many times where I was like, damn, I forgot this scene, or wow, this scene still hasn't come up yet. I said that like 3 times. Like, fuck, we haven't even had the soap scene yet. I'm just like, we're like an hour and a half into this thing, and we're not even until like some, in my mind, like our great, like iconic scenes of the film. And it's like, shit, this hasn't even happened yet.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of that going on. But yeah, if you guys have any like more closing thoughts you want to finish up on, any more questions you want to ask or anything?
No. Mine was just I wanted the reference in Super Meat Boy.
What level is that in again?
That's for the end. It's like I think when you beat the game, the cutscene before.
That's probably
it
why
was
I've
the
never seen it, because I've never beaten Super Meat Boy. So
Watch me play it on stream.
I know you were always doing the hard ass levels, and you got A pluses. It takes you 6 years to get through that game on 100%.
Yeah, the 106%.
106%. Sorry.
Gotta do those glitch grill levels, which I haven't unlocked any of them yet.
Have you gotten the one that I watched you play for 4 hours yet? Have you gotten to that one?
Yeah, the kid.
The kid one?
It's open. I'm gonna do that last before I go to Dark World, just because that's hours. It took hours.
The music
We
is-
sobered up before.
Yeah, we were drinking that night when he was trying to beat this level. We'd sobered up when he was still trying to beat it. Like it was a rough level. Like I think I went and laid down and took like an hour-long nap and came out and you were
Isn't that
still
Crystal Planet? Yep.
playing the level. I was just like, all right,
3
dude.
screens
Let's see.
of brutality.
Yeah, because he's a super random side note. Super Meat Boy, you have 3 lives to beat 3 worlds, or you have 3 lives.
Well, those
in each
ones
world,
luckily it's
right.
when it's character one warp worlds or warp zones. There's no life constriction. Like when you beat one of the levels, it's saved and you go to the next. So the problem with that, I was on the second one of 3, and then I finally got the third one, but it was still late. I'm like, okay, so I can either leave the console on.
Oh, because if you
or
turn the
beat it
console
right
off,
now.
you lose your first 2
Yeah, so I have to do the
progress.
first 2. Like,
Oh, fuck that.
yeah. Yeah, so I was like, no. The other ones, those where it's 3 lives per.
That explains why you were playing it for 3 hours that one night.
If it was 3 lives per, I probably wouldn't. I just was like, fuck it. No.
That's rough. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening to us with
Whoa.
Bramble. What?
You never came back around to me. You just
Well, you-
jumped to Meat Boy. I still had something.
Okay, well, what do you got? What do you got?
I didn't know you had anything.
I just like this movie. I just wanted to
Me
say I
too.
liked it one more time.
It is good.
It's yeah.
I mean, it's not what you think it is going to be.
It's definitely
Not at
that's
all.
that's one of the reasons why it kind of failed. It's not
Yeah.
like
It's hard to market
it's
it.
a hard ass
well.
to market.
You're
Even the
also-
marketing in it, like something I watched in CinemaSins, they talked about how much Pepsi product placement is in this. I didn't.
Only one of
notice
them I
that
noticed, and that was
watching the film.
It's the most consumeristic, anti-consumeristic thing. It's a conundrum within itself. That's why it creates like this mental like anguish watching it almost. You're like, oh,
yeah, the
man,
Pepsi, the
it's
Starbucks,
boring.
Krispy Kreme. Like, it's like a bunch of.
I had no idea about the Starbucks cup in like almost every shot.
I knew I only knew about it like at his desk and with the Krispy Kreme, and then I think it was in the.
Bob's always holding Krispy Kremes.
Oh,
There's always donuts, Krispy Kremes at the
coffee.
little get-togethers that we have
Yeah.
meetings.
Shit, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I caught some of them, not all of them at all. And the Pepsi was only the one where it was on the vending machine for it.
Yeah.
That was the only one I've consistently seen, and the other ones no.
It's crazy.
You know, I think that was probably a big reason why people didn't catch on to it.
It's
very-
hard to
it's
market.
layered,
It's
and it's hard to market, yeah, because how do you market something that is,
It's supposed to be against that.
yeah,
yeah. Even though it basically does a lot of it in the film for certain things, but like IKEA, I mean, even though they're trashing on it the whole time, they do show a shit ton of IKEA products, and so
Yeah.
it's just by even talking about it, it brought us to IKEA hacking. You know what I mean? So it's all circle. Even if you can complain about it, you're doing it.
it's a circle of life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a circle of Fight Club.
So we gotta
Today,
break the circle.
we broke the first and second rules of Fight Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. That's why there's so many of you here tonight. It looks like a lot of you are breaking the rules. Whatever he said. That was funny. But thanks for everyone for listening on in. You can catch us at most social medias at the Saturday Boys Pod. And I'm still Nick Benz 9001. Anthony
Concise Koala.
and Brandon. Pickled Brandon.
No space in there.
Saw one word.
Brain farts.
It happens. I stopped and I was like, we are in like Saturday Boys Pod on most things. Yeah. I think it's one of them is just the Saturday, isn't it? Is it YouTube? Is
Fucking
just the
find
Saturday
out.
Boys?
Sure.
See the
YouTube.
logo and you'll know.
Oh, there you go.
I
Yeah.
remember us getting excited, like,
Oh, because that was the first one we did, and then like we went to all the other social medias, and we're like, oh crap.
The other Saturday Boys thing is like a band, like a music band.
Exactly. We only talk about music. We don't create music here. We do it at other places. That's the thing. So this is just us talking, drinking and talking. All right. Thanks everyone for stopping on in, and remember, every day is a Saturday. And cheers.
Cheers.
Anthony, get your glass. There you are.